MGTA, Men Going Their Own Way, an Introduction. This piece is a summary of the MGTOW philosophy and how guys can use it to make their lives better. MGTOW, which stands for Men Going Their Own Way, is a way of life, a philosophy, and a movement that is growing among men all over the world. These men have realized that modern society is very unfair to men and that they need to avoid exploitative relationships with women if they want to be truly free and live a good life. It is becoming more famous in places like Japan, Nordic countries, India, and the United States. For example, this has contributed to a demographic crisis in Japan, where boys don't want to get married and would rather stay single. However, this isn't the only reason for that crisis. How the MGTOW theory works. MGTOW is often thought of as a negative philosophy, but at its heart, it is a very positive and life-affirming theory. A MGTOW is free to do whatever he wants. He doesn't have to marry and do what his wife wants or what society thinks he should want. In terms of relationships, it works like this. If the MGTOW likes having sexual relationships with more than one woman that don't involve a long-term commitment, that's fine. If he wants to be with one woman but not get married, that's fine too. If he wants to go monk and have nothing to do with women, that's fine too. It is also fine to switch between any of these jobs. The main idea behind MGTOW is to live life without worry, do what you want, pursue your interests and hobbies, make money to spend on yourself however you want, and make decisions in life without any outside pressure. One can be a fighter, a writer, or an artist, depending on what they are interested in. There's no need to work more and put yourself under more pressure to support your family and kids. This freedom from the pressure to provide also gives the MGTOW more time and mental space to do artistic or peaceful things outside of work, instead of bringing more stress to his marriage every day when he gets home from work. He can also use the extra time to meet new people, get back in touch with old friends, and have a busy social life. So, in some ways, MGTOW is similar to beliefs like Taoism, which also tells people to be flexible and at one with nature and society without having set ideas about how they should be or what they should do in life. You could say that a lot of well-known guys in history are MGTOWs. Buddha, Tulsidas, Bhagat Singh, Ratan Tata, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, APJ Abdul Kalam, Narendra Modi, etc. are all examples of people in Indian history from the past and the present. How other people reacted to MGTOWs. Many people in the rest of society are shocked by these lifestyles and make fun of MGTOWs as if they are losers or hate women. This is because MGTOWs don't follow what most people think is normal, which is a traditional married life with a wife and kids, living in a big apartment or house. Working hard to pay off a huge debt on a mortgage, and spending a lot of money on the wife, the kids' school fees, and so on. In fact, contrary to what most people think, most MGTOWs I know in India and other countries have good jobs, make good money, don't have any debt, and have money saved up. Their costs are low because they live a pretty simple life. The lifestyle of MGTOWs and the rising number of men who choose to live this way is a big problem for society, mostly because society needs men who are wage slaves and loyal to a woman for life. If these MGTOWs don't want to be part of the system, where will the men who take care of them come from? This is part of the reason why there aren't as many MGTOWs, women going their own way, as there are MGTOWs. Feminists say they are all for equality between men and women, but they want laws and perks that only help women. They can't deal with the growing MGTOW movement because it shows how hypocritical they are. MGTOWs don't care what society thinks of them or how other people act. Instead, they have an attitude of live and let live. Why go MGTOW? MGTOWs have realized that even though sex is good in and of itself, it is not worth a lifetime of slavery where all of your choices are limited, and you can't be who you want to be. On top of that, as people get older, they have less and less enjoyable sex with their girlfriend or wife, and one or both of them often cheat. The man is working more and more, but he has no say in how the money is spent. MGTOWs understand that there may be good women, but they don't think it's worth taking the risk of committing to one woman, paying for her jewelry, clothes, kids' schools, etc., and giving up their own interests for the rest of their lives. Also, if the marriage doesn't work out, getting a divorce is a very stressful and expensive process for men, but it's good for women and has no risks. This is because of laws and court systems that are biased against men. These laws and systems force the husband to pay a lot of money to support his wife and encourage fake accusations against the husband. All countries have rules that favor one gender over the other, like the 498A/DV Act in India and the WAVA in the United States. So it's almost too easy for the guys who choose to go MGTOW. On the one hand, it's the weight of anti-male, sexist laws and family courts, a sexist culture. And the idea that your hard-earned money will go to a woman who may just be using you to meet her wants and may not even love you. On the other hand, there is the possibility of giving up on such a plan and being free to live however one wants, work in whatever job one wants, and spend money however one wants. If someone goes MGTA, they will have more money to spend, less stress, less job pressure because a simple living doesn't require much money. And more happiness because they can focus on what they really want to do in life. Even sex, if that's the reason for marrying a girl for life, might be more fun and possible with more than one person if you're not tied down to just one. MRAs, people who support men's rights, versus MGTAs don't want to change the unfair system so that it treats men and women the same way, which is what men's rights campaigners do. They have just given up on the system and made a choice about how they want to live, like not letting their female partners tell them what to eat, how to spend their money, who they can be friends with, etc. Unlike MRAs, MGTA is not an organized organization with a central body that decides where it should go and what it should do. Instead, it is just a group of people who have decided that this is the only way they can live in peace. So MGTAs are not fighters for men's rights, though some people can be both MGTAs and MRAs. Most MGTAs I know have already burned their fingers by leaving bad marriages and being hurt by biased laws, like India's 498A Anti-Dowry Law and Domestic Violence Act, and a society and court system that favor women. So, they just don't want to make the same mistake again by getting married again. But it's true that even in India, as in other places, more and more young men who aren't married are becoming aware of the situation and staying away from relationships. Conclusion. So, to sum up, MGTA is a growing men's lifestyle movement that tries to get away from society's rules that say you have to marry a woman and work for her for the rest of your life. All guys should give this a lot of thought and decide if this is the kind of life they want to live.